I have to be completely honest here. I have not always been the greatest student. Like when I entered my very first year of university into business administration, I failed 9 out of my 10 classes. Yes, 9 out of 10 classes. That's like almost doing nothing for an entire year. That's like an entire year wasted. And I specifically remember that the moment when everything just clicked and changed for me was when my parents were talking to a couple of their friends and they said, "Hey, how is Ivan doing university? He's like one of the first people in your family to go to university. How is he doing?" And my mom was ashamed of me. She had to lie to their friends because she was ashamed of his son. He was not really proud that his son was failing all of his classes in university. And that was one of the most humbling moments as a son for me. Because they are immigrants, they work their asses off in order to provide for me and my sisters. And here I am just wasting my entire life scrolling through TikTok and just failing all of my classes. Like I had the privilege to go to university and I was paying it off like this, just wasting my chances. And that was not something that I could live with because I felt very, very guilty. So I decided to make a change. I decided to, okay, if I failed 9 out of my 10 classes in business administration, the most logical thing, the most intelligent thing that I can do is just to go into computer engineering, a way more difficult degree. And just when nobody was suspecting it because nobody believed in me, like let's just say the facts, if you're failing 9 out of your 10 classes in business, like it's almost impossible for you to do well in computer science, in computer engineering, like that's almost impossible. Well, 1 year later, just exactly 1 year later, I was top of my class. I was in the top 10 of the highest performers in my class and I got 4 academic awards. Do you know those awards that the professors give you when you're the top performer in a specific class? Well, I got 4 of those in just my second year of university. And that's the point where my entire life changed. I was a totally different person. My health was on check. My mom was very, very proud of me. She was telling all of her friends, "Hey, Ivan is studying computer engineering and he's doing pretty well." And then just my entire habits and my self-confidence just skyrocketed. I was a totally new person. And in this video, I want to share with you the framework that I have used, specifically the Notion template that has allowed me to do this so that you can make the greatest academic comeback of your life as well. So in this video, I'm just going to go over it. If you want to check it out, it's in the link in the description. As you can see on the screen, this is where the magic happens. This is the student dashboard that I have built for myself inside of Notion. This is exactly what has allowed me to just organize myself and study the least amount of hours possible whilst getting the highest results that I can while being in university. So let's just go over it. One of the first things that we see inside of this template is the quick view feature with all the tasks and assignments that the professor gives you out in each and one of those classes. So in my opinion, assignments is just a chance for you to get a 10 out of 10. It's just like a free gift for you to get a high mark. Because I remember that one of the biggest reasons why I failed 9 out of my 10 classes in business administration was that I forgot about all the assignments because I just couldn't really care less. So just when the professor gives you assignments, you have all the resources online like ChatGPT, Google, DeepSeek, whatever, in order to do that assignment well. Like it's a free gift for you to get a 10 out of 10 in that part so that when you get to exam, the only thing that you have to worry about in order to pass that class or in order to get good grades is just to perform good in that exam. So this is the most important thing for me, just having a place where all the assignments are just compounded and just grouped together so that I have a bird's eye view of everything that I have to do and everything that I have to submit before it's too late. As you can see, I added the feature that it tells you the amount of time that you have left in order to submit this task. Like all of these tasks are fake. I actually just created them. These are not real. So I have this one that is 3 hours left. This is 1 day away. Let's just actually change this. Let's just say that this task is going to be on 21st of February. And you can see that it automatically changes the date for you. And I just love this feature because it gives me a peace of mind that I don't have to be stressing over the tasks that I have and just keep on forgetting about the things that I have to submit. So this is a great feature that I have added. And if we scroll down, we can see that there is a part of the dashboard that says important. Like, what is this? Well, in class, you have things that are not really assignments, but are things that you might want to know because they're good for your uni life. Like, let's say, for example, the professor is going to be missing on a certain day. Like, let's just create one so that you can see how this works. So let's just click on here, new page, and let's just say, professor is not coming. Professor is not coming. And let's just say that it's the class of computer architecture. And let's just say the date is going to be in like 2 weeks, something like that. And there, as you can see, you have it on there. And as soon as the date comes closer and closer, it will go and just change this to an icon like this one that I have set here. This is all done by formulas. And just besides that, we have a bird's eye view of all the exams that are coming up. So this way I can see from a glance everything that I have in my uni life. And if you scroll even further, you can see that there's a calendar that will group all the assignments, all the important things that you need to do in all the exams, so that you can see from a bird's eye view everything that you have in your uni life. This is what has allowed me just to be more relaxed, be less stressed about all the things that I have coming into my life. So after getting a general view of all the things that are inside of this template, let's go into each and one of those classes, because this is where the most important things are. This is how I take each note inside of a class. So let's just hop into it. Like maybe let's say the class of statistics. This is where the entire hub, this is where the entire notes of the class are being taken. And I like to add a progress bar at the top, because this way I can know what percentage of the course we are completing. So let's just say that I want to go into lesson number 1. In this, you can see that in each note, in each new note that we create is going to have a certain template that I use. And I like to have a table of contents at the top so that I know what is the thing that we are learning. So when I'm studying or when I'm revisiting this for the exam, I can go and look at the right screen, at the right part of the screen, everything that is giving out in this class. So let's just say that it's this thing right here. And as you can see, when we go down, we have 2 specific buttons. These are the most important, because I always say, when you study to get high grades, you don't study for fun. You study to get the highest grade as possible, okay? And what is the most important task when performing well? Like, what is the thing that is going to get you a good grade in an exam? Well, doing more exams. If you do more exams, you know what the exam is going to be like. Like, you're not just studying the whole information in order to go to the exam and say, oh, surprise, surprise, I haven't seen this before. And you just try to gather all the information inside of your brain and just spill it out. No, what you are going to try to do if you want to get high grades in exams is doing practice exams beforehand. And whenever I go into class, my mindset is not, oh, I'm trying to learn everything. No. My mindset is, what is going to be on the exam? What are the chances of this information being in the exam and being asked for this? And a lot of times the professor will give out like certain hints that will say, oh, this might be on the exam. This question is a very good question if I were to ask it on the exam. And that's what my mind will say, oh, that's it, I'm going to catch that. So I will go down here into the button and I will say, okay, this is a brand new question for the exam, and I will just put it down so that I never forget about it. And when it's time for the exam, I have like a bank of 30, 40 questions that I have that are the most probable in order to be on that same test. So let's say just new test for YouTube. And you can see that automatically the template is going to fill the class that we are on right now. And we can see that the topic is, let's say, it's a theoretical lesson or practice lesson, because my university just divides each class is divided into 2 separate classes, like a theoretical lesson and the practical lesson, because they are like 2 completely different things. So I just say that it's a theoretical lesson, and the exam is going to be the partial exam number 1, and the theme is going to be T2. And that's it. Hello, how are you? And that's it. That's a brand new question. And as we go out on the statistics class, we can see that there is an actual hub for all the questions that could be in the exam. So that's how you get a bird's eye view, a general view of all things that could be in the test and that you might want to study for. And as you have seen before, there's another button. It's called the new task button. What is this going to do? Like, just imagine if it says new task, it's going to add a new task. So let's say that the professor says, hey, I want you to give me a writing of 30 papers about just AI in China, whatever. Just new task is going to be something like that. And it will automatically just fill the class for you. And the due date, let's say that it's in 2 weeks, something like that. And the URL, in order, if you want to just put a link into it, you can do it as well. And let's say that the status is in progress. And why would I want to do this? Because as I have showed you before, there's a task dashboard inside of the student dashboard, and we can see that we have added it into here. It's going to appear in the main page of the template. And that's very interesting, because just from one look, you can see every single task that you have to do, and you don't have to go out into the dashboard and just type in a new task, because that's just kind of complicated, and I like things to be very simple. So inside of each note, you can just create a new assignment and it will appear here. Again, if you go into the class, you can see that there's an actual Kanban style of dashboard that you can see all the tasks that you are doing at the moment. So maybe it's this one, the new one that we have created is in progress, one would change it into done. Let's just go into another class so that you can see how I organize everything. Maybe it's project management. We have one note here. This is how I like to take notes. I like to use the hierarchy of the Notion, like H1, H2, and the title headings and whatever, and divide things into just columns because that's something that is way more visual. And I like to put images and just call out into everything. And as I've said before, the new exams questions button and the task button. And that's just basically how I organize my entire university life. This is what has allowed me to make the greatest academic comeback ever. And if you want to check it out, it's going to be in the link in the description. And as always, stay patient because your prophecy is unfolding. I'll see you on the next one. Mwah.